Hi friends, welcome back to the studio. I am just doing some impromptu carving on some of these leather hard mugs. I just trimmed the bottom. I just added my decorative rim there. And then I wanted to add just a little pop of decoration on here carving. So I want to show you how I did that with my Squiggly Sun stencil. First, you're going to fight with your tape, okay? This is just electrical tape. I will use automotive detailing, like pinstriping tape, when I am doing a tape resist on my pots when I'm glazing. So just find whatever tape works for you, okay? You're going to position it like so. So that feels good for me. Make sure before you commit to the other side, like if I wanted this to come down a little bit further, which I do, I'll just remove this, position my stencil, and then just re-stick the tape. This tape isn't going to be forever because you are sticking it on clay and clay becomes dusty, and that just doesn't, that's like the enemy of tape. So the clay dust will quickly wear your tape out if you're moving it around too much. So I like that positioning. I'm going to come around here, making sure I'm keeping my stencil nice and flat. If it goes off the pot a little bit, that's no big deal, okay? We're not looking for perfection. We're just looking for some freedom, some range of motion. So our Squiggly Sun stencil is one of my favorites. I use this one a lot for carving in detail. I love to carve. It's one of my favorite ways to decorate the surface of a pot, but I'm not a great freehand artist, okay? So I can freehand my vines, which is my traditional decoration for my mugs, but sometimes I want something a little bit different. So on this one, I wanted a little bit of a sunburst with my Alexandria mountainscape. So I added that guy in there. So what you're gonna do is just position your stencil wherever you want it, and then you're gonna make a decision about where you're gonna start. And our stencils are a guideline, okay? I like to say this isn't the law. So you are not bound by the pattern on the stencil. It can merely be a jumping off point for you. So I start there, and then I'm going to now follow my stencil up and start laying in these sweet sun rays. I don't want to carve too far into the lip of my pot, so I am going to stop there. And then I just kind of start wherever I feel like it. Whatever method you want to use, I promise, is the best one. So you don't have to do it like me. You can do it your own way. If you just wanted straight sunburst, you could just use the opposite side here and mark your spots, remove the stencil, and then do what you need to do. I want our tools to work for you. I don't want you working for our tools, okay? So if you find a better way that works for you when you're using one of our products, I would love to hear. I love to hear when people use something in a unique way, because that just gives the rest of us really great ideas, okay? So I am just following my stencil. You can see it's really no pressure. This is like no pressure art. Come hang out with us and just breathe. Sometimes when I'm freehanding, I get like stage fright. Like I'm so afraid because these marks are permanent, okay? That's not easy to buff out a deep carving line. So by using something like this as a guideline, it takes the nerves out of it. You're like, and even look, like that one went really off the stencil. I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm just going to continue on with my design, and you'll see it'll work. Like that's not ruined, okay? And this gives you some design element options that maybe you are afraid to try, or maybe you didn't think about that before. You can be really creative. I don't want you to think just because you're using a pre-made pattern that you can't make it your own or you can't be creative. I just, with that last pot I showed you, I laid in my Squiggly Sunburst pattern, and then I was like, I want to add my mountains on here. So then I was able to freehand a mountain pattern that I've been carving for years. I don't need a stencil for it. I do have a mountain stencil if you need one. But I was able to just combine these two elements into a design that I've never made before. And like, to me, that's really exciting that I can make something up that doesn't even exist yet. Like this pattern before today never even existed. I just created this, which is exciting, especially if you're looking for just new, you want to try something new. I think as artists, sometimes we can kind of get into a really comfortable rhythm where we just kind of make what we know and we make what we like. And I think if you don't try new things, you might not discover like your new favorite thing. So that's my speech for you. Now I've enclosed some of these on the sides, but I left my top ones open, which is what I decided to do aesthetically with this one. I like the way that the top rays are open like that, but you can make your own choices here. So what I'm going to do is remove the stencil. I'm going to show you what that looks like. And with the electrical tape, it really doesn't ever leave a residue. So I'm going to remove that. And there we have our sunburst. Always double check that you didn't miss any lines, because that's important. And I have nice deep carvings here, so I can see like this connection could have been a little bit better there, so I could come through. And now you have this element of hand carving, that authenticity of hand carving something, but you don't have to come up with a freehand form for it. Okay, now let me put my Alexandria Mountains in over here. So I'm going to start this one. I think I want to start a little closer to the sun. And then, like I said, I do have a mountain stencil for you. So if this freaks you out, if just hand carving that kind of messes with you, and then my handle will go right here. That's my plan for that. So the sunburst will face out. And now I have these sweet little Alexandria Mountain at sunrise mugs that never even existed before. So again, I used our stencil. This is the squiggle sunburst stencil, and you can find this under surface decoration on our website. So let me get this there so you can see. Thanks for joining us, you guys. That was a bunch of fun. Let me know if you have any questions.